Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cody from Cody's Crochet and welcome to today's market vlog. Today is day 1 out of 2 of this Jubilee market that I'm attending. It is 600 years for a nearby village and I'm super excited because these tend to do very well. So as you can see, the car is packed. We just need to drive there. We are a few minutes behind schedule, but that's totally fine. It's only 5, 6, 7 minutes. So I'd say let's just get driving. And we've made it to the market. It was super warm already, but unpacking went on pretty quickly. I clustered together the plushies and keychains while spreading everything else out to the sides here. So like the bookmarks and the bandanas and bucket hats and stuff. I also had a turtle that I started last night, which I finished up by making the shell and then sewing everything together. Then I quickly tagged it and put it out with the other one, which kind of completed the ocean corner in my opinion. It was still early, but it was super hot already, which is your quick reminder to always hydrate on markets and hot days. Then I had a little pre-lunch snack and got started on some more Loaf cats, since I only had 2. The pattern is mentioned in the description, by the way. And while I put it out next to the other one, I noticed this huge difference. It's literally the same yarn and color, but oh well. I then treated myself to an ice cream milkshake with banana flavor. It was super delicious and screaming summer. And while I sipped on that, I sold both turtles within like 10 minutes, which was my sign to start another one. At around 1:30 p.m, I got myself some lunch from my booth neighbors, and it was so good, oh my god. It was this oven-baked bread with tuna and cheese and some tomatoes on top. Highly recommend that combo. Regardless, I made more stuff, including more mini Loaf cats. Loving these brown tones recently. And then I got started on my second liter of water. From around 4 p.m, there were barely any people in our street. They were either at the start or at the end of the market and kind of ignored us. Gave me time for a mocktail before this. Yeah. Welcome back. It is currently 8:12 p.m. and I am stuck because, as you can tell, my car is empty. But I can't get out of the parking space because they put barricades up, and I was told over half an hour ago that they would open in a few minutes. It's been 40. Anyway, I will wait a few more minutes until 8:30, and if they haven't opened to that point, then I will ask them again because I need to leave. So yeah, I did tear down everything, so it's just like sitting there waiting for me. But yeah, I will continue waiting, I guess. Kind of stupid, but oh well. After waiting about an hour in total, they told me that this shit doesn't open. Anyway, I will drive home now. Good morning. It's the next day, and I was just done yesterday. As you can tell, I was quite agitated at the end, because first they told me at around 7:30 that the gates would open to the parking spot I was at in a few minutes, and then I waited an hour. Because I thought, maybe at 8:30, because there was something happening at 8:30, maybe they will open it then. And then I asked another guy, and he was like, yeah, no, that stays closed, like, the entire time. And I was like, what the fuck? So there's that. I was then able to use a very bumpy road through the forest to get around, and then I drove through and got to my spot, packed up and backed out and went home. I had dinner at 10 p.m. because I needed to and repack my car because I was getting my sister and a friend of hers from a party, and I, as you know, or as you saw, had my car seats flipped over, so I needed to repack and unpack certain things. So like I had to get the tables out because they were too big to fit into my car without the seats being flipped over. So there's that. It was a very exhausting day, and I was still very much agitated the entire time. But I'm just hoping that today will be better. Today is Sunday, and usually Sundays are busier for sure. So let's hope for the best. And I will pick a different parking spot today. At least I will try to. Yeah. It is currently 7:45 a.m. and I would like to leave here at 8:30 at the latest. Yeah, that's pretty much it. According to my list, I haven't counted the money yet, but according to the list I kept of everything that sold, we made 187 euros and 50 cents yesterday, which is not bad. It's more than the previous market, but it's also not as much as the other Jubilee market that we did on the 1st and 2nd of May. That was a lot. So I'm just hoping that today will be better, that we make some good money today, because I am a little bit sick of this market already. But yeah. Yeah, it just wasn't like anything I expected. And honestly, it's their poor planning that led to this, so I'm a little bit pissed. And I might tell them about that if there's time. Like, I will not seek them out and tell them that, but if they are there and they ask, I will tell them that this wasn't okay, because they told me to go to the spot because it was specifically for vendors, and then they wouldn't let me out, which is stupid. But regardless, today is a new day, so let's stay optimistic and get through it. I think it's a little bit less hot than yesterday, so that's great, because it was very hot yesterday. It was 24 degrees Celsius and I think 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Something like that. And for me, that's very warm. And if you're staying in the same spot all day and don't really move, it's even warmer because the sun is just burning into your skin. I did apply sunscreen because otherwise I would have had a sunburn for sure. But yeah, let's get ready and get started into day two of the market. My car is repacked, so let's go on with day 2 of this market. Again, hopefully this will be better, but I won't know until I get there, so let's go. Introducing the easiest tent to set up, while also introducing the setup of day 2. I brought out some different stuff, like these book sleeves over here, while keeping the plushies and keychains on the same spot. I honestly needed more stuff because it was looking empty, as you can see by the wristlets. And the first thing I did was get started on this custom order I got from a couple yesterday, because they wanted an owl keychain, which I didn't have. I'm loving the colors, they give such a summer vibe, and this pattern was pretty easy as well. I honestly might make more of these. These were super quick and look gorgeous, so after I finished that, I got started on some more mini octopi keychains, because I only had 2 left. Well, technically 3, but 2 of them were in the same color. This pattern is by KP Crochet Creations if you're interested in making one yourself. Also, not cookies and vanilla ice cream being the best combo. I worked on some more smaller stuff like these flowers and continued on the turtle I started yesterday. This pattern is by Crochet by Genna and it's working up super quickly and is a great market prep project. I tried something new for lunch and completed the turtle in the cutest colors. I'm loving this combo. It was super windy today. It was nice regarding the temperature, but also my stuff kept getting blown up. I had to get rid of my styrofoam head. But I sold one of the first ever book sleeves I made, the sunflower one here. And my booth neighbors got me some ice cream for free, and we love that. Though I was bored as hell to that point, which made me start people watching, honestly. But there were barely any people walking by, so there's that. I was also trying not to fall asleep at this point and try to stay awake, which made me go over to my booth neighbors and just start a conversation with them. And we agreed at about 5:30 to tear down. And tearing down this tent took like 2 minutes. Look at how easy that was. So let's finally go home. Good morning, friends. Today is Monday. It's my day off and here we are. Last night I was very tired. I also had to bring my sister over to a party after I got back, and then at like 12:40 a.m. got her back. So there's that. There didn't really happen to be anything after. I didn't unpack. I will do that today. But I did count the money. I didn't do the roundup yet, but I did count the money, and in total in those 2 days we made 293 euros and 50 cents. 187 euros and 50 cents were made on day 1 and 106 on day 2. Surprisingly, day 2 was actually worse than day 1, although a lot more people were in the streets I was at. It was weird. It was also technically the same temperature as on Saturday. It was super warm on Saturday. It was like 24 degrees, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. But on Sunday, it was super windy, which was nice regarding the temperature. But my stuff kept getting blown over and off my table, so I had to secure them in certain ways, and I had to get off my styrofoam head because it was just on the ground most of the time, honestly. And the bandanas were struggling to keep on the table as well. But other than that, it was fine-ish. Honestly, the last few hours of both days were kind of depressing because from 3:30 to 4 p.m. there was barely anyone walking by, and yesterday specifically all of the foot traffic was diverted to the top because there was like a station with a DJ and there was food and drinks, so they really had everything they needed and they didn't want to leave. So from around 5 p.m. there was literally no one anymore. Like in an hour I maybe saw 20 people walking by. That's pretty much it. But yeah, we did sell some stuff. We sold our turtles. I did finish the last one. I started on Saturday. I finished it on Sunday and put it out, and it sold. Funnily enough, to my former teacher. But those 3 sold. We sold a few mini Loaf cats. We sold all of the big Loaf cats. I was able to make some mini Octopus keychains, and 1 or 2 of them sold as well. And I think a plush octo sold on Sunday, and there were people looking at the moose, but they didn't have any grandchildren, so they didn't really see the need to buy it for themselves. And this was for a grandchild, so I still have it, but they were interested for sure. So I had it out just to fill up some space and to show people what I have. It's not like a moose is considered a summer animal, but here we are. And yeah, I met a ton of nice people and saw some familiar faces that were visiting me just because, and it was really nice, connection-wise. I also had the nicest booth neighbors. One gave me a discount on their food, and the other one gave me an ice cream for free. I did give the ice cream truck 2 of my keychains, 1 watermelon and 1 kiwi keychain, to say thank you. And the other ones I helped tear down. They were all a little elderly, so they were like 70 plus years old, all 3 of them, so I was doing some of the heavy lifting and stuff because I didn't want them to hurt themselves, honestly, because they did struggle with some stuff, and also their car broke down on Saturday morning when they were like getting there and putting everything out of their car because they had set up the day before on Friday, and their car broke down, and I was like, damn. Then we had actually a couple who had a booth that were involved in a car accident, sadly, and were in the hospital on Sunday. And then we had another one who was also having car problems, and their car broke down like in the middle of nowhere and they weren't able to make it. So this market was kind of cursed, honestly. I don't know what happened, but interesting for sure. But regardless, I will unpack my car now because I do have to repack it from school week. I will be gone for the next week. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know in the comments below if you have markets going on and how those went. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye bye.